Hi, this is France Joshua Merida, and welcome to On Point the podcast, where I invite guests that will allow you to be inspired, informed, and updated with all of the issues. So join me as I have my conversations with them on point. So, good evening, Sir Vito. And
Hi, good evening.
first things first, I just want to say thank you for saying yes to this interview. As what I've said, this will be a casual interview. I just want to feature individuals that I thought will inspire my listeners and motivate them in a way. So,
Yeah.
I just want to start by asking, can you briefly introduce yourself to our listeners?
All right. Well, first, thank you for having me. I hope later on na ay ma-pick up atong mga listeners from my own journey. So, I'm Vito. I'm from Cagayan de Oro. So, I've I've graduated law school maybe sometime in 2018, I think. 2018 or 2019,
very new,
somewhere
very
there.
fresh.
Oo, very bago
Right.
lang. And right now, I'm connected with the local government. So I'm also in the field of law. I'm with the legal office of the local government here in Cagayan de Oro. So yeah, I think that's about it.
So you've talked about that you're a graduate of you've already graduated law school last 2018. Well, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
sir, take me back to the very moment when you decide to go into law school. What was the turning point? What was the triggering event that you decide, mag-law school ko? What?
Sige. Actually, even as early as around high school man siguro, law school was already kanang in the pipeline lugar. Like, it was a career path na I was eyeing on. Basically because back then, kuan man good ko, medyo practical siya in a sense kay kanang I considered to pursue legal studies and a career in law kay I felt back then nga based on my skills, based on what I can bring to the table, I felt nga I can make a career out of it in the legal field. Kay early on, way back in high school pa, no, even as early as grade school pa, I've been very interested with reading. Tapos, kuan sad, I enjoy writing. And I would say nga kuan, I would say nga I have a good command in the English language kay mauman yun ang medium lugar nga atong gagamiton sa atong laws here in the country. And I would say medyo compared lugar to my peers back then, to my schoolmates, I was medyo articulate na gyudaan with when it comes to public speaking and all that. So I felt all these factors combined would give me an edge at the very least if I do pursue a career in law. Kay medyo katuman gud siya nga mga skills are later on lugar I realized later on how important those were and how it helped me when I decided to finally go to law school.
Kumbaga, you've envisioned yourself already because knowing that the facets of being kanang, kumbaga, ang facet like reading, like the articulation was already there. So
Yes,
you've really envisioned
correct.
yourself already.
Oo. Although I would say na may different lahi-lahi man lugar ang motivations sa nato individually, no, when it comes to pursuing our passions. Na uban nga they're very passionate about it or mao gyud ang ilang dream, mao gyud ang ilang childhood dream na gusto i-pursue, or naasay uban nga kanang they want to fulfill their parents' wishes or kuan.
That's why I'm asking kanina nga, baga basin ano ka sa imong family or their friends that you encourage you nga kay dream ni lolo or dream someone from the family.
Correct.
But
correct. Although I come from a family of kanang mixed professions, we have lawyers and doctors and whatever, pero
so it runs in the blood.
There wasn't any pressure though nga ako siyang i-pursue. It was my personal choice. Kaya mo lagi to on the basis of the skills that I already have. So medyo ang sa ako personally, I was leaning more towards the practical side of it.
May I ask what is your pre-law course, sir?
My I graduated with a degree in international studies.
Okay.
There is a Xavier University sa Cagayan
international
de Oro.
studies.
Yes, international studies. That was where I first had an experience with how it is lugar to study law. Kay back then, naaman mi subject
may overview or
on
subjects,
international law.
Yes.
Oo. Siguro to have a feel lang, to have a grasp. Although later on, as I moved on to the law school proper na yun, ma-realize ni mo later on nga it's an entirely different ball game sa.
Okay. There were talks or there were kind of bang belief no nga there's an edge if kanang dool gyud sa law daw imong course like political science, accountancy. What do you think were the advantage of your international relations degree no entering into law school?
Actually, now that you've asked me, medyo layo siya. Kuan man god. Medyo ang kato akong undergraduate course, although na ay international law, it was leaning towards foreign service.
Okay, kay international relations.
Oo, pero nagya po yung mga useful
snippets
tidbits. Oo. Kay naaman sa I think and I'm quite sure sa tanan man sad ni undergraduate courses, we all have to pass through constitutional law.
Yes. Consti 1.
Oo, so aside from the political law, katuda yung akong international law, but then again, pag abot sa law school, like I've said, it's an entirely different ball game altogether. Like you've mentioned, naka-mention kag mga naanay mga basically
like
if you graduate college,
accountancy,
you can pursue a profession naman.
Yes.
So naay accountants, naay mga naa siya kuan. There are also advantages sa kanang mga specific subjects na when you go lugar later to law school, like for CPAs or for accountancy grad. Yes, naa sila edge sa tax law. Kay actually later on, ang isa sa akong realizations when I started law school, ang population sa law school is very diverse. Naa sad gihapon yung mga ni-graduate og nursing, ni-graduate og
from different fields,
courses,
no? And they tend to excel somehow in the field.
Correct. Naay advantages ang imong undergraduate which you can apply when you get to law school. So like ato para sa say nursing, graduates of nursing, they have medyo na sila edge when it comes to legal medicine. Kaya naman legal medicine subject. So kanang kuan siya, it will vary, but then again, mag-depend gihapon siya sa imong kuan.
Kumbaga the tenacity, no? The perseverance, no?
Yeah,
the willingness.
Gihapon siya sa kuan. Yeah, correct.
Going to my next question, you've mentioned the environment already sa law school. They say nga lisod kuno kaayo og strike sa balance sa law school, no? Daghan kay case digest, punan pag mga professors nga terror, or whatever you want to call them. Well, personally, sir, how do you balance the strike between law school priorities and leisure?
Leisure. Sige, kung ano siya, actually, this may sound cliche, pero even before the first day of classes sa law school, giignan gyud mi daan nga law school is the lady law is a very jealous mistress.
Kumbaga you have to focus yourself.
It will really take your time. You really have to make sacrifices. But then again, tawo raman gihapon ta. So, there will come a point nga ma-burn
you need to
out
relax,
ka or
no?
makapoy ka or ma-exhaust ka. So, kuan lang. I guess even during ako personally na ang discipline lang. Discipline and time management.
You have to kumbaga kung study time, kung leisure time.
Yes. Correct.
You don't have to be guilty at all time na, ay, karon leisure sa ako. Then next, bawi-bawi lang.
Oo. Kuan lang yun siya. And you work according to your pace. Although naatay gasundan nga curriculum or naay ginahatag sa ato naay mga ginaset nga deadlines. At the end of the day, as long as kanang kabalo ka sa imong own pace, kabalo ka sa imong kuansad ka, nasad kay discipline, kuan naman siya, manageable naman siya. So like say in a week from Monday to Friday, you feel nga medyo napakay hangover sa weekend, for example, medyo bitin ang weekend for you. So you decide nga mo ginhawa sa kag Monday. Lang yun siya. You have to instill in yourself nga, okay, I allow myself to relax on a Monday, but I'll make sure to double time the following day or the following days.
Kumbaga you have to commit to yourself, no?
Oo. Kay dili sa lisod kaayo if you also don't have time to take care of yourself.
Especially now that everything is online, I guess it's more harder.
Correct.
How do you
that's one thing also na tungod kay online na karon, ang tendency man good, unlike before during my time, since we attend physical classes pa man gyud, kung unsay schedule nga gidictate sa imong law school, mao gid to siya ang
have to follow,
musunod,
strictly follow.
As opposed karon nga online siya, so easy access lang to Zoom. At any time pwede i-change sa imong professor kay
okay, so
wala naman lugar siya wala naman lugar ang other factors like traffic.
Kumbaga mas lisod sa estudyante pod, sir, no? Kay basin naanad kang katugid siya unta nga inyong nasabutan, and then from time to time basin i-change niya. Kumbaga madaot.
Correct. All the more reason nga medyo I feel, although I haven't experienced it yet, pero I feel nga mas medyo kinahanglan og discipline karon at present because of the online situation. Especially kay most of the students are in their homes lang. So, medyo it's much more comfortable. So, na-tendency na
kumbaga adto
medyo
sa
mas
bed.
relaxed.
No?
Yes,
kung dool pa yun ang study area sa bed, samot.
Correct.
And kumbaga they cannot distinguish it anymore kung unsa ang home o ang school. Kaya kumbaga we are kanang restricted in our homes, no?
Yes.
You've mentioned your law school journey and all. Can you describe your study habits before, like, kasi I have friends pod nga law student, no? They say that you have to memorize all the code. You have to memorize all the codals, all the provisions. How do you divide the numbers of cases in your studies?
Siguro one thing we should realize pag abot sa law school kay there are two kinds of students yun. There are the intelligent ones na, and then naa say mga diligent yun.
I have to stop you. Where do you belong, sir? The intelligent or the diligent
ako,
ones?
kuan. I would say siguro somewhere in between.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in between. Kay kuan man god, ang gauge na ako personally, ang gauge na ko sa intelligence when it came to law school na, kay kuan na gyud siya nga level, mga photographic memory levels na gyud sila pag kuan.
Tanaw lang yun kay dictionary.
Yes, naagyoy mga kuan, naagyoy I had classmates, peers before sa law school na at one glance kuha na nila diretso. But kuan sad, I think what should also be considered in law school kay kuan, it's not just simply memorizing or reading, but mas important ang understanding yun. Like you yourself understand what you read. Okay,
You have to understand the spirit of the law.
Yes. It's not enough nga memorize ni mo siya, pero when it comes to applying it, medyo mawala na dayon. Like,
kumbaga the concepts of the law.
Dili ka confident kung oo. So you have to, like you've said, you have to understand the spirit of the law, unsa gyud ang iyang intention, para when you're confronted with questions, you know which particular part of the law will hit that question lugar. Pero ako personally, when it comes to studying,
how do you study?
Ako man good personally, I'm visual man good ko nga learner.
So kailangan lagi professor ka nang you have to see.
Yeah.
Kumbaga makakita yun.
Correct. Dapat kuan gyud siya. Siguro not necessarily nga ang professor mismo, pero namagi uban nga they learn from discussion. So if they listen to the discussion lang, they're good na. But ako personally, I have to, aside from listening to the discussion, I have to read the case or the provisions by myself. I have to read it.
Okay. Kay mas
I have to, yes, kuan siya. Like once I read it, ako siyang i-try og interpret kung sakto akong pagsabot.
Yeah.
And then I try to relate that dayon to akoan.
To a particular situation. Yeah, okay. Okay.
To a particular court ruling.
Okay.
Just so I can see kung sakto ba akong pagsabot adto nga provision, mao ba ang pag-apply when in ruling a certain case lugar. So kuan ana siya visual, and I try to take notes also.
But do you have group studies, no, for sure? Like kanang mag coffee then adto sa mga
actually
kasi I've heard
actually,
that
depende. Depende yun siya. Ako personally, atong first year, yes. Kay kuan, you would notice man good, like before you start law school pa lugar, kay makakita kag crowd when you go to coffee shops or to kanang mga even McDonald's, kanang mga 24/7 nga mga food chains nga kada mag-study out yun ang mga law students with all their books. So syempre, when I was in first year then, I did that kay, to be honest, medyo nasa lugar siya kuan bitaw. Medyo na pride.
Okay.
Nga kanang, gadala ka og kuan na.
Yes.
Gadala ka
with all the books you have, with all the.
Yes. Pero over time, I realized nga it didn't work for me. It wasn't effective for me.
Okay.
So kuan, as I moved on sa law school, mas nagkuan ko, especially since in my case working student man gud ko. So
that's interesting.
Every chance I get to read, like in between breaks lugar or yeah, I try to read. Although I would say though nga swerte ko kay ang akong line of work karon, well, even before akong line of work, medyo kuan na siya. It's leaning towards the law na ng
Okay, ma-apply
profession.
mo mga concepts, sir, no? Like,
Correct. Yes, correct. So
kuan ka
even
nga
if I
kanit,
don't study,
mag-practice na kadaan your
yes, kumbaga kanang dili makuan ba, kanang dili ma say term ano dili katayon, dili mataya.
okay,
Okay.
na may continuation gyapon nga.
Yes, correct. So mao na siya. You would realize sad over time nga kuan man gud ang law school, mura siya magkadugay, magkalisod siya. So over time,
progress, no?
the more it gets harder, the more you tend to be kuan na mas focused na ka. So medyo you would rather nga, like ako personally, I would rather nga ako ra isa, or I read in peace and silence in ana.
Okay.
Pero yeah, normally even with my classmates also, when we started first year, yeah, kuan gyud kay mi kanang musukol gyud mig bilaway.
Yes. Kanang kung asa kitugdok magbasa gyapon basta.
Yeah. But eventually, even with kato ako mga friends, later on we realized na it wasn't really effective kay kuan sad siya. Aside man good from studying, you also have to prepare yourself physically, psychologically, every time nga magklase na, when it comes to going to class. So lisod kaayo to go to class na kanang kuan bitaw ka, walay tulog or nabilar. Tapos on top of that, gikan pagkagtrabaho. So yeah, over time
you have to juggle many things, no? It's about like balancing.
Yeah. During my law school stint, medyo it was a challenge gihapon.
Kumbaga, listening to you, parang I'm imagining kung how could he do this, all of this, working, no, studying. But I salute you, sir, for that. Moving on to my next question. You've mentioned about your friends. You've mentioned about study out. Well, you've heard in the news, no, na as part of the support group for law students, kanang there are fraternities. No, personally, do you believe in the influence or the support that the fraternities can provide?
Well,
sa inyong school, sir, na ba yung fraternity?
Yes. Actually, I'm part of a fraternity also.
Okay.
When I was bound to make the decision whether to join a fraternity or not, I also had to weigh my the pros and cons of it, lugar. But at the end of the day, the pros outweigh the cons gihapon kay man kung ang fraternity man good, syempre ang iyang i-instill sa imo is ang brotherhood. So kuan siya, that's another support system for you, lugar, aside from your friends, aside from your family. And being in belonging to a fraternity proved its kuan man sa in my case over time. It proved kanang effective for me also kay kuan, there will be people who will help you in terms of resources, in terms of kanang mga notes, lugar, or mga books for that matter. And kuan sad sila, ang feeling man good nga although you belong to a fraternity, kamulo nga group, at the end of the day, law students gihapon mo tanan. So pareho mo more or less pare-pareho ta mo gaagian. So pare-pareho mo og challenges, pare-pareho mo frustrations. So at the end of the day, there will be people nga you can talk to nga who knows what you're going through and is open to listening to you and can understand kung unsa lugar ang mga challenges or obstacles going through law school. Pero kana siya, at the end of the day, it will also depend sad kung kuan. It will also depend kung unsa sad nga kind of fraternity ang imong or organization ang imong gasudlan. So for me, luckily ang akong gisudlan nga fraternity
yes,
has been akong naapilan nga kuan has been positively influencing me even to this day, miskin lugar humana na miskin graduate na lugar mi. So yeah, naagapon siya advantages.
Yeah, kasi I just wanna ask you that kay namotoy sa news nga sa TV Patrol, there was a first year law student kakatubitaw na sobraan og paddle niya. Kumbaga there's a notion magud sa fraternity nga after sa graduation daw or after nga mo graduate na mo kanang they can really help you in finding your connection, finding your job. So kumbaga listening to you, kumbaga depende ra gyud na sa estudyante no, and again depende sa support group nga imong nasudlan, and luckily sa imuha sir kay makita gyud nato nga kumbaga bisan wala na mo or ni-graduate na mo, there's still that brotherhood that call that brotherhood. No,
yeah, although kakatulagi no, although it's unfortunate nga na yung mga inana nga incidents pero generally kuan man I would say nga mas gina-outweigh gihapon sa pros, sa positive side ang mga negative nga impression sa kuan. So at the end of the day, magdepend gyapon siya sa imo if kuan man gud sa tong ako it just felt right for me that time. So kung ikaw if you're going to be in the position lugar whether to join or not, syempre you also have to kuansad. You also have to trust your gut feel.
Yeah.
Oo, so kuan gyapon siya. At the end of the day, naagyapon sa person lugar, naagyapon sa imo if you feel comfortable. Kay makita man gud nimo na, matrace man nimo ang kuan ana. Naamagud na sila murag naay identity, naay culture.
Kumbaga sakto sa dimong gingon sir, ma-feel man gid na nimo ba nga sakto ba ni nga grupo para nimo, di ba? According to whatever values nga imong gikuptan versus ilaha. Correct. Oo, and kung aligned ang imong kuan values and principles sa unsay core beliefs ana nga group, then I think kuan yun. Kay ako gali, in fact, I joined a fraternity later in my law school journey na, mga third year siguro ko adto. Although typically ang kuan kaning mga recruitment to fraternities, sororities, organizations, so they begin first year. Yes.
Kay fresh pa lugar ang mga kuan, pero ako I waited for the right time, and when I joined my fraternity, it felt nga murag kung baga the stars aligned lugar kung baga nga kuan nga paminaw na ko I belong. Oo, yes.
Hearing from you kanang kumbaga there's it's nice to hear no nga mulagi it's not really nga kailangan yun ka mo appeal in the first year, although naagi uban nga madalag yun no, but again what I'm getting here is that sakto gito mong gingon sir, the gut feel and the feeling whether or not mo align ang imong values sa ilaha, then kung mo align magali then yes, but if not, then you have the option to dili pud mo appeal. And what I like about what you say is that kumbaga you need to wait for the right time, no? And that's what you did. And
siguro to emphasize lang on what you said, Franz, no, kuan, you can also choose not to join, to associate.
Not to join at all.
You would survive man.
Yes.
I know a lot of students who survived law school without having to join these sororities, fraternities, and whatever. So naagid siya sa imuha. Kuan lang, you have to think of the kuan lang, pros and cons as far as
kumbaga timbang you have to weigh everything.
Timbangon lang nimo.
For my second to the last question, correct me if I'm wrong, pero when we did the conversation on your Instagram, you said you were retaking the bar exam.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So
Correct, correct.
when 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 you told me that, on on the spot I said, I have to get the story because this is very
Mhm.
inspiring, no? And my
Mhm.
question is, where did you get the kana bang the strength, no, to take another shot of
Mhm.
your dream,
Mhm.
no? Considering law
Mm.
school, I would kay naman pug ko kaila nga first taker, ingon siya sir nga,
Mm.
it's not
Yeah.
about the chismis nga. I didn't pass the first take. It's not about that kay mawala na siya 1, 2 weeks, months.
Mhm.
It's
Correct.
about
Correct. Correct.
the not going through the same feeling again of reviewing, waiting for the bar
Correct.
exam.
Right.
Where did you get the
Right.
strength?
Right. Right. Right.
Where did you get all of these ano? And you told yourself nga, ay mo take og usab.
Mhm. Kuan, it all boils down to like perspective. Ako man good nga type of person, um positive man good ko nga type of person, like I look at things like a glass half full
Wala and half empty.
nga
Kumbaga
kuan.
depende ra
Oo.
gyud mo.
Yes, perspective gyapon siya. And you also have to realize nga, well, for one, um graduating, getting a degree in law is in itself already a success. Mao gid
Oh, very
akong
good.
isa ka gihon ako
Yeah,
na
that's the
no kay
quote of the day.
the journey kuan. Oo. The journey through law school in itself
The journey
is very
itself.
challenging na not everyone can finish law school. Not everyone can even last one semester or at
Yes,
least first
correct.
year in law school. So, getting the degree in itself is already it's already an achievement. Kay once you get the kuan man good, what people siguro do not realize is nga although kung baga siguro let's compare by analogy sa kuan sa unsa ba ang getting the title lugar nga attorney and ana for me I feel is a kuan mura siyag Miss Universe crown. But at the end of the day, naa man sad gud siya gina-open nga la endorse for you. So your degree, your Juris Doctor or your Bachelor of Laws degree in itself can already open doors for you aside from pursuing a career yun as a lawyer. In fact, naagalit ko yung mga classmates back then who just wanted to get the degree kay for purposes of promotion or credentials.
Okay.
Kay kuan man good, for example sa government ang kuan man good ang JD, ang LLB equivalent na siya to a master's degree.
Okay.
So if you want to advance your career lugar in government, medyo mas daghan lugar possible options nga imong masakaan sa civil service lugar. Although I would understand nga ang end in mind man yun sa kasagara sa majority is to get you the to be a lawyer.
Yes.
But I'd like to emphasize nga kuan lang, especially for me who will be retaking the bar again, no. I would like to emphasize nga it was never like the end of the world when the first time I took the bar and failed. Kay although that door wasn't opened yet, daghan gihapon nag-abring opportunities for me just by getting the law degree pa lang. Oo, so kuan, now that I'm actually, this reminds me of one friend nga nag-ask gihapon ana kay we both failed the first time nga kuan siya murag medyo na kuan lugar siya. He was devastated with the results and mura siya wala na siya drive to take it again. But for me man good, ang ako sang mindset the first time I took the bar ang akong mindset adto, being able to be given the opportunity to take the bar is also an achievement na gihapon. Kay dili ba
Yes.
tanan makakuan.
Yeah.
In the same
Namang
way
galit
nga
sa first day, di ba?
makakuan.
Dili na mo kuan in second Sunday,
Actually,
third Sunday.
naagid ko yung mga kuan ana, like naagid ko yung mga first hand experiences anang mga mag-breakdown or kanang
or they will finish
dili
the first
makakuan.
Sunday, in second Sunday, dili na kay 8 Sundays na, di ba?
Oo. So kanang bar, actually people will have to understand nga it's not just kuan. It will not just kanang test you academically, pero it will really exhaust your kuan yun. It will really test your spiritual, physical, psychological readiness ni
whole being, no? It will
Yes,
challenge your whole being, your whole person.
So mao na siya when I first took the kuan, when I first took the bar, mao to akong consolation sa akong self na not everyone is given that opportunity. Kay imagine before you get to the bar, you have to get pa ba your law degree.
Lagi nga dili pod sayo ang pag-get sa law degree.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. Exactly. So moving as I move forward with my journey, ang positive side ang akong gatan-awon, dili ko gadwell on the negative side. And since you've mentioned about retaking, kuan siya, unsa ba, where do I sakto ba ko, no, where do I get the kuan?
Yeah, the drive, the strength,
or the motivation.
No, the drive
kuan, to well, for one, lahi man yun ang fulfillment if you get the kuan na yun, if you get the title.
Yes, kay na jud
kay
ATTY.
Oo.
Imuha na gyud siya. You can own it.
Mao na siya ang kuan. Mao na gyud lugar ang pinaka trophy. Murag mao na ang Miss
You're in the
Universe
pinnacle of
sa kuan. Yes, sa entire journey gyud nimo since day one of law school. Pero ako man good, admittedly, when the results of the first bar that I took came out and I knew that I failed, it was kuan na gyud. It was tantamount to hitting rock bottom na gyud. Like, imagine all the hardships, all the challenges, all the sacrifices, then you didn't make it. All the preparation, na yun, nabagsak ka. So it was really rock bottom back then. But once man good you hit rock bottom, murag mawala na sa tanan imong inhibitions. Mawala na imong uwaw. Kay like, you have to accept the fact. I accepted the fact na nabagsak ko. So like, unsa pa man akong ikaula, what more do I have to lose? So I realized then nga, if this is rock bottom already, then as I move forward through my journey through life, there's really nowhere else to go but back up.
Yes, correct.
There's nothing deeper than rock bottom. Na mao na gito siya. So the only direction you're going to is to go back up yun. So
yes.
Mao na siya ang kuan. Mao na siya akong motivation. In fact, gani when I failed my first attempt, I didn't have the time to kuan. I didn't have the time to cry or to weep about it.
Oh, that's like, very interesting to know.
Well, the day the day the results came out, well, usually 12 noon man nila gina-release. By 1 p.m. of that day, I started planning na how to get about with preparing for the kuan lugar for the next exam. So
kumbaga game on na din ka sir nga. Ugaling fail man move forward ka na wala.
Yeah. And I guess I didn't feel man good, like I've said earlier. I didn't feel nga it was the end of the world. I tried to look at my surroundings. I tried to look at what I have, where I'm at that point in my life. There's still a lot of good things to be thankful for. There's a lot of kuan pa. There's a lot of reason to live. I have a good job.
Yes.
My support system, my family, my friends are very supportive, and kuan lugar, modesty aside, with where I'm at right now sa akong career specifically, I
Yeah.
earn at par with kanang most starting lawyers.
Yes.
So that was something that I was thankful for. But then again, wala gyapon nawala ang kuan. Siguro ang hunger lang for the fulfillment. But nonetheless, kanang I still have murag a lot of kanang blessings. I still have a lot of opened doors to be thankful for.
And lastly, I guess what I'm getting from your story is that kay story nga wala sa uban nga tuod ni bagsak ka,
yes.
pero you will always bring the story of inspiration over the others nga, although if we have a better choice mupasar jud ta sa first take, but I guess kumbaga edge na mo sa uban sir nga you will always have that inspiring story that will motivate katong mga mga student nga ganahan mo sud sa law school, or katong mga barristers pod nga the same sa imong boat. I guess that is the
I hope
kumbaga mo usa na edge nimo, that's what I'm getting personally. And this is the main reason kung anong kuan gyud ta ka to have on my show, kay my podcast is all about inspiring, motivating others. And last talking about your journey,
although that's not to kuan lugar ha, kay like you've said lagi nga we all have different journeys, although the destination may be the same, pero we go through the journey differently. So that's not to invalidate also other people nga dugay naka get over or dugay
kanya-kanya
yes, kay naman sa uban sa ato nga you have to embrace the pain also, you have to experience the kuan lugar, the you have to allow yourself to feel the kuan lugar. So
kumbaga
not
mo time to willow
other people lugar, pero time to let everything sink in.
Yes. And
so katulog ako I hope nga naay naay ma-pick up atong listeners ato, or naay sila makuan nga inspiration from my story. But your journey is different from my journey. Kanang you might pick up something from me that might help you, but then again, at the end of the day, kuan gyapon, imuha gyapon ang kuan yun. It's really a matter of perspective and how you deal with the things na that will confront you lugar.
So with that, I would like to say thank you again to you, Sir Vito, for a very fruitful exchange of stories, of conversation, and I just want to wish you well in everything, especially
thank you for having me.
21 bar exam is already computerized.
Yes, correct. And so medyo na adjustment, correct.
Yes. I wish you more knowledge, wisdom, and of course I wish that this story kanang madunggan sa kadaghanan, especially katong mga naglisod pod nga mga barristers, kay I'm sure na gid sila ma-pick out ani sir. And again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, for saying yes, even if it's bago pa ta nagkaila, but I'm sure this will inspire a lot of law student and katong mga bata nga gusto pod musud sa law school. Thank you kaayo. And that's it for this week's episode of On Point the podcast. Don't forget to follow us on our official social media accounts to keep you updated. This has been Franz Joshua Merida. Until our next conversation here on Point.